College of Education and NKT National College of Education for Women, Chennai. Before we begin with today's webinar, I now invite Dr. S. Devasagayam Selvakumar, Principal, Western College of Education, to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, sir. So you have to unmute.
Most Honorable and respected Madam Professor Sheila Stephen, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University, respected Professor Murugavelu, Professor and Head Director, Department of Physical Education from Bharatiyar University, respected Professor Dr. Rajashekar Venkata, Director, Physical Education and Sports University, University of Hyderabad, respected Governing Board members of Western College and NKT College of Education, respected Principal of NKT College of Education, Dr. Chamundiswari Ma'am, dear delegates, special invitees, well-wishers, dear staff of Western and NKT College, and students of Western and NKT College of Education, very warm welcome to you all. Today we all have gathered here to attend a webinar, academic webinar at the national level, organized by Department of Physical Education of Western College of Education and NKT College of Education on the theme, role of physical activity during pandemic. For this program, we have our most respected Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University, Professor Sheila Stephen, to preside over this program. Madam has got more than 4 decades of experience in teaching and research. She served as the formal principal of YMCA College of Education, Chennai. To her credit, she has produced more than 10 PhD scholars and about 110 MPhil scholars. She has published more than 70 research articles, both at the international and national level, particularly a major research project which led to some significant findings on efficacy of integrated development program of movement therapy on physical, behavioral, cognitive, and perceptual motor domains of intellectually disabled children. Another international research project on quality physical education program also added to her credit. Her overseas academic collaborations over more than 14 countries, particularly Oxford University, London, and Worcester University, London, and Springfield College of Physical Education at the USA. She has many times extended her help in the academic activities of our college. On behalf of the college management of both the colleges, I accord a very warm welcome to you, madam, for your valuable presence in our midst. When I approached him, immediately she has given her consent to be here at this time in the midst of her duties and responsibilities. Once again, I am grateful to you, madam, for all your services that you render to Western for the last 2 decades of your teaching career, and particularly for presiding over this program.
Thank you, sir.
I take this opportunity to welcome our guest of this program, Professor Murugavel, Professor and Head and Director, Department of Education, Bharatiyar University from Coimbatore. When I approached him immediately with a smile, he has accepted our invitation. To his credit, he has 3 decades of experience in the field of teaching and research. He has produced more than 15 PhDs and about 20 MPhil scholars. He has published 3 books in physical education, and he has published about 40 research journals, and he has presented papers about 30 leading conferences and seminars. Such an expert in the field of physical education is here in our midst. And when I asked him to give a topic, I told him to fix a topic related to the teacher education programs, because he is very well versed in the field of sports and sports, because he has his qualification MPEd, MPhil, NSNIS, PGTYED, and PhD in physical education. And he has specialized in exercise therapy, track field, and football also. Such an expert in the field of physical education has agreed to deliver a talk on the theme role of physical activity during pandemic. Once again, on behalf of the managements of both the colleges, I welcome you, Professor, for your valuable presence and your lecture. I take this opportunity to welcome with pleasure Professor Rajashekhar Kali Venkata, Director, Physical Education and Sports, University of Hyderabad. He is serving as the wellness and sports science expert also. To his credit, he has 2 decades of experience in teaching and research, out of which 8 years he worked as associate professor in Government College of Education as Director of Physical Education, University in Hyderabad. He has also produced more than 10 PhDs and about 15 MPhils, and he is guiding more scholars, research scholars, for the award of PhD. And regarding his credit in the field of research, he has undertaken 2 projects, and he has more than 20 publications at the national and international level. He has been delivering many invited talks, more than 15 in number, out of which 3 in UK, Greece, and Bangkok also. Such an able, experienced expert in the field of physical education is here to deliver Prelude address. Once again, I welcome you, Professor, for your kind acceptance to deliver Prelude address.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. I take this opportunity to welcome all the governing board members and the respected principal of NKT College of Education, Dr. Chamunduswari, because without whose support this program will not be materialized. Therefore, on behalf of both the colleges, I welcome you all to this academic event at the national level. I welcome all the delegates and staff and students of both the colleges, special invitees, well-wishers of both the institutions to this academic program. Dear delegates, I hope the time that you spent by attending this academic webinar at the national level will give you more input about various physical activities that you can undertake during this pandemic period to boost up your immunity. With these words of welcome, I once again welcome all the gatherings to this academic program, particularly most respected and Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Sheila Stephen, and Professor Murugavel and Professor Rajashekar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank you,
for
sir.
your earnest welcome and unveiling the resourceful experts of today's webinar. I now invite the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Sheila Stephen, Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University, Chennai, to deliver the presidential address. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Can I share the content?
Madam, good morning, madam. Murugavel, madam.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, madam. Fine, madam.
Doing good.
Thank you for your presence.
It's a joy and a privilege. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's a joy and a privilege to be part of your program. I'm so glad for all the efforts you have taken. I congratulate both the institutions and the principals, the governing board, the experts, the resource persons, for being part of such a wonderful webinar which has been organized by the two institutions. A very great congratulations to the principals and the organizing secretary. I really appreciate you, and I praise God for the opportunity given to me. Health is a God-given gift, you should say. That's what I have written. The best gift you offer to the world around you is your health. God has given us health, and the best gift you give to others also is health. That will give you a great trust in you. That will give you a breakthrough in your life, and it will give you a self-esteem in your life. That's what the slide talks about. A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because her trust is not in the branch, but in her own wings. So always believe in yourself. So we always believe in ourselves. Unless otherwise we are healthy, we will not be able to have trust in us. And the small caption for the teachers: healthy teachers leads the nation. Okay. So if you are healthy, you are capable of doing so much that will enable you to lead the nation as a teacher. And these two institutions being a teacher education, I bless all the teachers to be healthy so that you'll be able to lead the nation. I'm going to give you a very, very brief message on how to approach the concept of doing physical activity. A CAN, which you can, a can, which you can. There are three little things you need to identify or put it in your mind when you think of going for physical activity. We have lots of experts with us who will be able to explain to you a lot more and more. But I'm going to give you three little words which are very much important when you go for physical activity. The culture, the physical culture, okay? Unless you have a culture of doing physical activity, you will not be able to be participating in physical activities. That is one. And the second one is whether you have an accessibility, whether you are accessible, whether opportunities are there. And the third concept is the nutrition, okay? So here you have the power of sports. We always talk about sports, and it's always a buzzword. It's an iconic word. And that will make you to become a very powerful human capital. You're going to be an asset when you're able to participate in sporting activities. Powerful human capital. The country itself needs such healthy people to be an asset to the country because of the values it develops. The social values, the physical values, the mental values, and even the economic values nowadays. We all know that participating in sports will give you will give opportunity to draw the talent, develop the talent, and deploy the talent. Okay. Unless you participate, you will not be able to identify your talents. So that's wonderful dimension of sport where you will be able to get the talent, develop them, and deploy the talent wherever you are in your day-to-day life. And the top high-level athletes are called the unofficial ambassadors of a country because of the values they express. And the physical activities will help you to develop the mind gymnasium in you, a strong mind gymnasium. So once you participate in physical activities, it help you to be self-organized, having lots of self-esteem, and also the self-confidence. I told you the first, the CAN, the first C is the cultural intelligence. Unless you have a sporting culture, you will not be able to get into sports at all. There should be someone to guide you into a cultural intelligence. You look into this bar diagram which has been given to you. India stays very low, the second lowest, the cultural intelligence. Cultural intelligence is nothing but the ability to adapt yourself into any new culture. So please think of people who are not with sports at all, and that you need to adapt the cultural, the sports culture in you. And but our country has a very, very great cultural heritage, even which is being talked in Ramayana and Mahabharata. Okay, so the culture, the sports culture should be in you when you think of going for physical activity. The second one is, I told you, is the A in CAN. C stands for culture and A stands for accessibility. Accessibility is nothing but there should be a program or should be some sporting facility or there should be some human resource to help you, or there should be small amount of funding, and the activity you do should be gender equity, social inclusiveness, and as I told you, it should give you opportunity for talent identification and competition. So these are all the basic structures of accessibility. You cannot just go tell them you participate. There should be someone, or there should be a program, or there should be some human resource to help you, or some sporting activities which you need to know and learn. The third concept is the nutrition, which everybody knows about it. This talks about the energy balancing equation. The energy you take or the energy generated should be lost or used. The calorie intake should be used or lost when you do it. So the first figure talks about the food intake. Here it is sort of a balanced one. Calories intake and calories output are the same. Okay, you do exercise and that is calories been used. See, the second one is about the exercise and the food. You see a seesaw there. The food is large and exercise is less. Okay. So less activity, more food will lead to obesity. That's a figure which has been given, like overweight and obesity. And the third one is less food intake and calorie out is large. Okay. Leads to loss of weight. So whenever you do some activities, it's a common thought, it's a known thought, but we don't take it in our mind. We know the concept, we don't put it into practical, even I, okay? So this is an energy balancing equation that everybody should be aware of every time. I remember one doctor, Dr. Kannan Pugalandi, everybody know about him. A food was served in front of him. He just saw the food and he's calculating this much calorie, this much. So total is 5,000 calorie. So I have to run for 3 more hours more. Okay. That concept everybody should be having to maintain the body structure. Okay. And one of the main barrier of sporting activity is the technology. Okay. The slide, wherever I go, I do it because I like this. The person who is lying down says, everything these days is .com this, and .net that I just can't stand it anymore. Okay, he says I don't want to have .com and .this and .net that. And the second person, probably his friend, says, I know a website that can help you. So again he says, a website will help you. So we normally spend so much on technology. That is one of the barriers of sporting activities. And here a lady who comes out, I'm talking for the women teachers. Socially, normally we feel society has assigned a role. At the right side, you say, see a duckling with all ducklings on the back. But that's not the only role. See at the left side, a person who was really self-confident, took up a career, which was very challenging in her life, and that made her so much culturally good. And this is I want to highlight this. Sports is the only entity goes beyond the differences. There is no caste, there is no creed, there is no culture, and there is no religion or region differences when we go into sports. That is why we ask everybody to be with sporting activities. Simultaneously, a request from our side of physical education, we need to take care of the people who are differently able. That is also a part of our program. And finally, this is about the high-level performers who need to totally depend upon the industry 4, where the technology will help them a lot. So physical activity may be egalitarian sports, which we do for recreation, or it may be for high-level performance. You need to concentrate and think of these 3 CAN, which you can, a can, which you can. With this, the last slide would be, if there is a will, there is a way. Here's a picture depicting an individual do not having any accessibility, no support, but look at the boys playing on the field. With these, I come to a conclusion of the presidential address. Thank you so much for the opportunities. May God bless all your endeavor. Thank you for the efforts taken on having a webinar on such a wonderful topic, doing physical activity. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your wonderful speech on believing ourselves and the importance of sports, which helps to build our self-confidence. According to Plato, lack of activity destroys the good condition of every human being, while movement and organized physical exercise can save it and preserve it. I now invite Professor Dr. Rajashekar, Director of Physical Education and Sports, University of Hyderabad, to deliver the Prelude address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And it's an honor that I am now interacting in the same forum where I have seen my own teacher. That is Professor Sheila Stephen, a very lovable teacher to me, and she guided me. Thank you, madam. Your blessings.
Nice seeing you. Nice seeing you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, as a prelude speaker for this webinar, I would like to say a few things. When I asked the Professor Devasahayam sir whether I should be presenting some PPT or not, he said no problem. So I can talk just like that. So I'm presenting my talk. In fact, I'm a very good runner. I used to run marathons, and we have started a Hyderabad Runners Club here with only 7 people with the idea of promoting physical activity. So now we have around 6,000 runners, and all the happening runs in Hyderabad are done by us. That's called Hyderabad Runners Club. We are also organizing airtime marathons. I'm a staunch devotee, like I'm really a devotee to fitness. So that's where my life really is very happy and it's very good. But since the concept is role of physical activity during pandemic, we need to analyze it little more carefully. Here, my precept always is prevention is better than cure. So that is the precept. And when the prevention is better than cure, we have to be able to understand the core issues of exercise. Everyone knows that exercise is good and it will help to pick up health. Yes, it is correct. Exercise helps to boost our immunity through two modalities. One is it enhances our anti-inflammatory strength. It also enhances our antioxidative strength. And these two enhancements in physiology cause for the enhancement in the or protection of the immunity. So when we have the protected immunity or a heightened immunity, we are sure of having physiological health. That's called inner health, physiological health. Here, since the present pandemic, that's COVID-19, has a different strains happening. It is developing into different strains and we are not sure about the whole treatment. And the response also is differently happening to different individuals, those who are affected with COVID-19. In this condition, it is very advisable that we must be very keen in the scientific aspects of the physical activity. The exercise endocrinologists clearly advising that to sharpen the endocrinal activity, the best physical activity seems to be the moderate intensity and medium duration aerobic exercises. Of course, other exercises also can do very good things, but this is a kind of an exercise that is suggested by the exercise endocrinologists. And then when you involve in this kind of aerobic activity, we are supposed to get heightened immunity, and so we can definitely prevent infections like COVID. That is the reason why maybe the prospective speakers will be talking about the other issues like social distancing or other issues. But let me just touch some of the core issues because this is a prelude to their webinar. And that's the reason I am touching some of the important scientific aspects of the physical activity. So it is always important you have to do some physical activity, but at the same time, you must be protected. As you are inviting a lot of oxidative stress by involving into physical activity, because physical activity itself is a stress. There are two types of stress, inflammatory stress and oxidative stress. To neutralize these two, you need to depend on excellent nutrition. As the previous speaker, Srila Madam, was speaking about the nutrition, it is 100% true that nutrition is a very important aspect for exercising individual. If you cannot able to properly plan and implement your nutrition plan, especially when you are exercising, it is better not to exercise. I am very critical on this because even myself, though I'm an exercise scientist and a wellness speaker, who is very well versed with the wellness aspects, the next day after I finished my Chennai Marathon, way back in 2014, I could understand I was infected with the flu. Yes. So exercise doesn't mean that it will always sharpen your health. It has other things in it, and we need to be very counter effective through proper programs like nutrition and rest and relaxation and recovery. I observed that personally when I ran Chennai half marathon in 2014. So nutrition helps us in neutralizing the inflammatory and oxidative stress. That's the reason why we have to make pre-exercise nutrition, post-exercise nutrition, and during exercise nutrition. We have to be very clear in that. We have to consume sufficient amount of carbohydrates and sufficient amount of the anti-inflammatory, antioxidative nutrients containing foods. This is very essential. Even after the exercise, we have to consume first class proteins and antioxidants, especially the antioxidant means those with higher amount of phytochemicals. It's like colored fruits, vegetables, reduces lot of green leafy vegetables. All these things we should be able to consume. If you are not doing that, it is better we reduce the exercise. So exercise should match with your nutrition, and nutrition should match with your exercise. It's like a vice versa. And then after that, you have to be very, very importantly, you must be noting it that when you have no sufficient sleep, like kind of thing, when you are not recovering properly, when you don't have when you are under stress, severe stress also, it is not advisable that you should refrain from exercise. Stress also says, the stress physiology also says that it enhances a lot of inflammatory hormones in our circulation like cortisol, catecholamines, etc. And so it may also make us come down with our immunity. So instead of, when we think about immunity, we always think about exercise, better nutrition, but we don't think about the stress. So it's important that we have to see that physical activity should correlate with your nutrition, and the nutrition should correlate with your physical activity, and then you should be very stress-free. You should be joyful. So especially during the COVID pandemic time, this is a very important, notable exercise science. And there are many things I can add upon. There are tons and tons of things I can speak because I'm a wellness and lifestyle speaker who have given almost like 1,000 speeches across the various forums, including international forums. So, but it's difficult to contain in a small shelf of 10 minutes, but still I have tried my level best to give you the tidbits of the fitness and related issues. And I thank the organizers, especially Professor Devasahayam sir, for giving me this opportunity to interact with various people on this platform. And I'm very happy to share my attitude, my thoughts, my knowledge over this forum. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for helping us to identify the strategies to remain physically active even during this global pandemic. Physical activity helps us to boost the immune system, ameliorate symptoms, lower the risk of infection from the exposure to the coronavirus. I now invite Professor Dr. K. Murugavel, Professor and Director, Department of Physical Education, Bharathiar University, Coimbatore, to deliver the special address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Good morning. Very good morning, all of you. At the outset, most respected and honorable Vice Chancellor and my teacher, Dr. Sheila Stephen, the vibrant principal of Western College of Physical Education, Dr. S. Devasahayam Selvakumar, and my friend Dr. Rajasekhar from University of Hyderabad, who has delivered a wonderful prelude lecture.
Thank you, sir.
And the principals of both Western and NKT College of Education, particularly my professional colleagues, Director of Physical Education of both institutions. So we should not leave the physical directors who are instrumental in organizing this program. Physical Director of both institutions, Western as well as NKT College of Education, both for women, and delegates from our country as well as from abroad, and students of both Western and NKT College of Education, and dear participants. I really feel very much humble to share some of my views with this platform. At the outset, I must thank the management committee members and principal students of both colleges for having given me this greatest opportunity to share the dais with a legend in the field of physical education, Dr. Sheila Stephen, who is holding the position of Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Physical and Sports University. I'm really thankful to all of you for having given me this opportunity to share the dais and to share this conference with Madam, such legendary Madam. And I must thank also, I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Devasahayam Selvakumar, Principal of Western College of Education. When he made a call to me through my colleague, former colleague, Dr. A. Johnson from Ayanada Janamal College, he only introduced me to Dr. Devasahayam. I must be thankful to both of you for having given me this wonderful occasion to share with some of my views. Dear friends, with the best service among the services are service to education. As we all know, here the Western College of Education and NKT College of Education, both institutions are serving for education particularly. It's a noble service among the services is serving for education, particularly for teachers. See, a nation has to protect only two kinds of people at our hand. One is teachers, another one is army people. The teachers are producing the citizens, the army people are protecting the citizens. So these two people should be protected by any country. If these two people are protected by any education institution, any country, that country can have a fruitful effect, fruitful results over the education and over the country, because the destiny of a nation is being shaped in classroom. The entire destiny of a nation is being shaped in classroom. So teachers are the platforms to mold the future destiny of any country. So in this context, both the institutions they are serving, they are producing the good teachers, noble teachers to shape our country. So for this contest, we all must be thankful to management and principals of both institutions. I congratulate them. I compliment them for having taken pain on their shoulders to produce a good teachers, and the way in which they organize this webinar itself reflect their quality of their institution. The Western College of Education, I was told that it's a reputed institution. Here, it is the only program which been started by time, on time. 11 o'clock is 11 o'clock. They have started 11 o'clock. This system, this system reflects the quality of Western College of Education. Really, I congratulate them. I pray God Almighty to shower them, bless them to reach higher, both academically as well as qualitatively. Really, I'm thankful to Sir, Dr. Devasayam Sir. And today, dear participants, don't afraid of me. I will not demonstrate any exercise now. I'm here to create an awareness. So this is not a time to demonstrate any exercise. Just creating awareness is the greatest thing among the minds of young minds of our country. We should create an awareness. That's why the platform is organized, particularly during this pandemic. So let us start our discussion. I'll try my level best to create an awareness on the minds of youth of our country, particularly the students of our country, particularly those who are participating in this program. So let us start with the wonderful quote, a beautiful quote by Swami Vivekananda. Share Mandiyaba. Next. Madam, my audio, is it audible, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's audible, sir.
Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir. You can proceed.
Yes, madam. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
See, let us start our discussion with beautiful words given by Swami Vivekananda, who is a creator of culture of Indian culture throughout the world, globally, culture creator, has given a wonderful quote to the youth of our country. A man who can be nearer to God through football than reading Gita. So don't take it otherwise. Being a footballer, I'm quoting from football. So it's wonderful words given by Swami Vivekananda to the youth of our country, who is playing instead of reading Gita. So you can play football. Football in the sense you can involve with some physical activities so that you can be healthy. If you are healthy, you can lead peaceful life, peace of mind, without any debris in your mind. So you can reach the God. This is a message is given, conveyed to youth of our country by the greatest man of spiritual man of our country, a man who can be nearer to God through football than through reading Gita. So we don't need any other explanation, any other substantiation to substantiate the effect of exercise on our health. See, this is a wonderful good, really, young students, youth of our country, kindly register these wonderful words at your mind so that there won't be any we don't need any other stimulators to get involved with the physical exercises. See, another wonderful words given by Plato is namely, see, we so far we have a concept at our mind that the health and fitness is only related to our body. It's not at all. It's related to both body and mind. See, here another wonderful words given by Plato, a quote: body and mind are driven alike, like a pair of horses hitched into a shaft. How the pair of horses are hitched into a shaft, that is a chariot, they have to move simultaneously, stop, turn, and start. So each and every inch of the chariot based on the simultaneous coordination and parallel involvement of these two horses. Same way, same likewise, our body and mind should be parallelly taken care of. They should function parallelly and they should be function effectively to move our body, human body, in a peaceful, healthy way. So these wonderful words, dear friends, let us start with these two quotes. Now only we are getting into this our main area. Dear friends, today the entire world is fighting against an invisible enemy. So if we find our enemy, we can fight, we can kill them, we can destroy them, we can do it anything else we want. But at the same time, we do not know who is the enemy, what shape he is, what weight he is, what color he is. We do not know anything about that invisible enemy, namely COVID-19, that virus. So we are, entire world is fighting against this invisible enemy, dear friends. So that's we have to be more cautious over our life. So our honorable Prime Minister used to say a wonderful word is janki to jahangi. When there is a life, when there is a life, we'll have our life. When there is a life, we will have our life. So without life, so without our individuals, without life of the individual, we cannot lead the world, we cannot see the world. That's why this session is really a wonderful session, need-based session, timely selected session. So we need to concentrate, we have to be very cautious during this pandemic. Now the number of infections are getting increased, particularly in India. So we have moved to third place in the world, followed by America and Brazil. So sometimes we may reach, we may overcome the Brazil sometimes because the population is more at our country. So it's our own responsibility to realize, to make ourselves cautious during this pandemic. See some of the points which are in my mind, so I want to discuss with you now. So before getting into the doing exercise, what exercise we have to do, what are the benefits of exercise during the pandemic we have to do, other things, we must know our own responsibilities. Dear friends, each and every part of society, every part of living and non-living organisms, we have got our own responsibilities. So here, there are 5 responsibilities to our society to create an awareness. We should make our youth, our students of our country to understand the responsibility of different sectors of our society, different parts of society. So I have, with my experience, I have arrived 4, 5 ways we have to create awareness. First step, what we have to do. So we should educate, the youth of our country, particularly students, particularly teacher training students, for regarding facts about the COVID-19. Facts about the COVID-19. We must make them to understand the concept of COVID-19. So in making them to understand the concept of COVID-19, so we should come across these 5 points. What is, we should teach them, we should educate them what is COVID-19. What is COVID-19? How it invaded against into our body, where they locate themselves. Actually, where there is a gap, where there is a gap, everyone will get shelter under that gap. In our body, where is that gap? That we have to realize. When the gap is created, when the virus getting into our body, we must understand this is basic science. Where we create the gap in our body, we must understand when. So when our immunity is weak, we have weaker immunity, and the gap is created in our body. When the gap is created, so anything, everything will attack, we will invade against our body, will try to get into our body. So when there is a, when we are weak in immunity, these type of bacteria and viruses, usually they will get into our body. They will get in, they will locate the gap and they will find the gap and they locate them and they will settle inside our body. So once they settle inside the body, once they settle in the body, we should flush out them. We should flush those bacteria and virus from the body. So only source to flush out and get out of those is only physical exercise. That is, we are going to discuss now. So such a way, we should explain them. We should make the learners, our students, to understand what is COVID, how they are invaded against the body, from where. So all these things we must teach them. Then we must make them to understand the symptoms of COVID. What are the symptoms we across? So the government has given very many guidelines, and every day the media is speculating the symptoms of COVID-19. So we must teach them, particularly the students, they will have a diversified mind, particularly in this stage. In the adolescence period, students will have very many diversion in their mind. We must bring them into a point and we must make them to understand the symptoms of COVID. Then spread, mode of spread, how they spread. We must teach them, we must instruct them, we must take the classes, we must orient them to understand the mode of spread so that they can be cautious, they can get out of, they can prevent, they can refrain themselves from those mode of spread so that we can bring down the infection into our body. Then risk, what are the risks? After explaining them, after making them to understand the mode of spread and what are risk factors we have to face, is if the COVID-19, if the virus is infected, if the virus is located into your body, we must teach them, we must make them to understand what are risk factors which they cover under the COVID-19. Then we should teach them treatment. So what are the modes of treatment and stages of treatment, cost involved the treatment. See, if you make them to understand all these 5 factors, and our youth will be very cautious. Instead of giving exercise, nutrition, and talking, discussing about very many things. So if they are aware, what should do, what they should not do, so they will be out of this COVID-19. Right? Next, what is the role of administrators and teachers and staff? It's our duty. As I told you, the destiny of a nation is being shaped in classroom. So we have got a important role, vital role in managing the students during this COVID. We must be very much careful over teaching the students. We must take very much initiatives to prevent them to get infected. We have got much more because so everyone should realize the importance of the seriousness of this COVID. See, unless there is an awareness, they cannot come into this platform. So 1,000 men can drive, 1,000 men can drive a horse into water, but none can make it to drink unless otherwise it feels thirst. Dear friends, so you can carry, you can immerse that horse into water, but it cannot consume the water unless it feels thirst. Such a way, each and every citizen of our country, each and every youth of our country realizes our own responsibility, not only to this COVID pandemic, any problem which we face globally. So otherwise we cannot come out. So we must realize our own responsibility and we must also make the youth of our country to make their own responsibility. Then role of parents, caregivers, that is healthcare workers and community. So third stage also, third factor also plays an important role nowadays. See, we are striving, we are shortage of healthcare workers to deal with the COVID infected patients. So we must realize, we must make them to understand their role to prevent, to save lives of lakhs and lakhs of our youth of our country. Parents, we have got much more responsibility in educating the student. Then we must take them student and children, as well as in the context of mental health. As I told you, mental health is totally depending upon your physical health. They will be saying sound mind exists only sound body. So unless you have a sound body, you cannot deal with the sound mind. There is a saying in our field. So we must educate them and we must support them psychologically. We must support them, the children. So if you face these problem, so these are the outcomes of these problems. You must verbally, psychologically, you must support them, particularly the children. There will be more agony, with mental agony. We must bring them out of those agony with psychological support. In last stage, we must concentrate on mental health. So mental health, in the sense, if the debris are accumulated in your mind, so you cannot think even freely, you cannot move even freely. So your mind should be free from all debris. So if you first, in the first stage, you must, these 5 stages should be concentrated before you get into the exercise, before you make them to get exercise during pandemic. So if the youth of our country, students of our country, realizes these 5 stages, we, including ourselves, each and every segment of society should get involved, should they contribute towards the COVID-19, then only we can come out. Then only we can come out. Madam, am I audible, madam?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Then, as our Dr. Rajesh Jagaran pointed out rightly, the value of exercise is not realized among our youth of our country. The word exercise from the dictionary of youth is being removed from the dictionary of youth nowadays. Dear friends, only 4% of our Indian youth are involved with physical activities. Only 4% of Indian youth are involved with physical activity. What about remaining 96%? What about remaining 96%? Why do you think about only during pandemic, during COVID-19? Why? Why don't you always? Why don't you think of always? So if you think of always, so the percentage of youth involved with the exercise automatically will get enhanced. All these things are in the hands of teachers, parents, society, in total government, in total our country. So there should be a common agenda for our youth of our country. For example, government of Japan, they made exercise as one among the fundamental rights. Do you know, my young friends and organizers, Japanese government, they made physical exercise is one among the fundamental rights. They must do, everybody must do exercise. But here, only 4% of population of our country, particularly youth, are involved with physical exercise. You think about status of health, then only we should think about during pandemic. It's not on the sudden effort. See, if you during pandemic, what else you feed, what else you do, you won't get much more significance from that only during pandemic. So you might have a practice of doing regularly, always, throughout your life, throughout the year, then only you can get fruitful results. Here, another two important words to messages to the youth of our country. So we go for searching medicines, different corners. We run towards pharmacies, we run towards the hospitals. See, nowadays the hospitals are coming as mushroom culture. You may find every 10 feet, you may find a medical shop. Every 100 meters, you may find an hospital. See, this is situation prevails at our country. Why? Why should we do? A former president of USA, Obama, he used to tell wherever he stand before Mike, Wherever he interact with the youth, he used to instruct the youth to instigate the exercises by giving this word. Instead of constructing hospitals, instead of constructing hospitals as mushroom culture, you lay out the playgrounds. You lay out the playgrounds so that you can get minimum health status level among the citizen of our country. That was the motto of Barack Obama, former president of US. Such a huge, powerful country. They have inculcated this principle and the minds of youth, their country. So why don't we? So here I want to quote this. Physical activity is a powerful medicine than anything else. I can take it granted. I can prove it. I can prove it with experimentally, I can prove it. So physical activity is a powerful medicine than anything else in the world. So no substitution, no compromise with the physical exercise, physical activity with anything else. You cannot match this physical activity, anything else. Another words I can convey to youth is physical exercise is a stimulator and an inhibitor to the immune system. Our Dr. Rajasekharan speculated a few concepts regarding immunity. So we are also going to discuss regarding immunity in the later slides. It's a stimulator, dear youth of our country, dear students, dear participants. It's a stimulator, more than that. And it's an inhibitor to the immune system. So from these two quotes, these two sentences, you can realize, you can understand, you can convey, you can transform the significance of physical exercise in maintaining your fitness and health. So again, I want to ask the people of our country and students, what do you think about the physical activity during pandemic? During pandemic, you extend it. You extend it throughout your life. You extend it throughout your routine. So no need of discussing the role of physical activity during pandemic, dear friend. This is my submission to all of you. And as I told you, it's we are going to discuss the benefits of exercise, what we should do during the pandemic that we are going to discuss. Before that, just we can um, discuss about what are the components which involve in fighting against such virus invasions into our body. See, it's not alone physical activity, it's not alone nutrition, it's not alone rehabilitation, it's not alone lifestyle. We should concentrate on these four components so that you can come out, you can fight against anything else. Even an elephant comes against you, you can fight with and you can win and you can kill that largest, heaviest animal over the earth. So these are the four. Physical activity, as our Dr. Rajasekharan speculated, the role of physical activity, nutrition also. So here I want to stress on this nutrition, the sense making proper composition over the food, even for sportsmen, that not exist at our country, even for sportsmen. That's known concept. Whereas we should come on to Neolithic diets. Neolithic diet. What do you mean by Neolithic diet? It's nothing but food habits. Those days, what we had, everything disappeared now. So we have gone into burger, pizza, all these fast foods, it's made up of everything ready-made, packed, stored, everything. So the Neolithic, the traditional diet is not such a diet. So we should come down to our Neolithic diet, that is traditional diet. And this is a part we miss in at our country. So only if you have any problem, any disease, we go to doctor, we consult him, and we take medicine, and we leave it as on date. We never look into that problem again. So we need this process, rehabilitation. Dear friends, so your treatment, your any disease or injury, see, if your problem will be solved if it is diagnosed properly. 50% of your treatment will be over if the problem is diagnosed properly. 25% will be by medicine. Remaining 25% of the problem will be solved, should be solved from the rehabilitation process. We don't take any after injury after disease management. That is major problem among our youth of our country, in totally our among our Indian population. This should be taken care of. Very much we have to be very carefully, we should take care of this. So if for example, if COVID, so infected positive individual identified, we give treatment. So till treatment, 75%, only 75% of our part is over. What about remaining 25%? The remaining 25% is rehabilitation, that is management after COVID positive. So that must be educated the youth, that must be educated to the people of our country, each and every people of our country, to come out and to strengthen our body, to develop our immunity. Last one, lifestyle. So we are all in the fast moving world. So we never, so I can give you a simple example. Bedroom is AC, car is AC, school is AC, office is AC, university is AC, everywhere you completely, you lead a lifestyle under a artificial shelter. You don't have a possibility of interacting with the nature. You don't have any possibility of interaction with the germs. You don't have any possibility of interaction with the sunlight. Sunlight, unless your body is exposed against sunlight, so nothing can be prepared by your body, nothing can be stored, nothing can be improved. So unless you have interaction with the environmental factors, that is natural factors, nothing can be improved. You do exercise, okay, 2 hours, you have proper nutrition, okay, you have rehabilitation process, okay, then what about your lifestyle? What about your lifestyle? Even sleeping, you need to have a proper sleeping. So that includes in the lifestyle, that proper sleeping will alter, will nullify, will modify your total, these three stages in total, that will alter the development of immunity of your body. So we should concentrate, we must teach them, we must follow them, we must enforce the principles. We must learn it properly, we must do it properly, we must implement properly. This is the enforcement of any principle, enforcement of laws. First we must learn, and we must do it properly, and we must implement it properly. So these four factors requires that the enforcement, we must learn, we must do it, and we must implement properly to the students at proper time, so that you can develop your immunity and you can fight with against any type of infections, any type of viruses like COVID-19 is an invisible enemy. So even some malaria and flu, those are mode of spread is our mosquito and some other, those things can be identified with your naked eyes. But this COVID-19 virus, you cannot identify, it's an invisible enemy, I told you earlier. So dear participants, you register these 4 areas to be concentrated. Don't stop with this, even don't stop with this, even with this, you concentrate on this also. So this is my humble submission to all my friends. And basically, Dr. Rajasekaran revealed the immunity as touched since certain time. I don't think that I will also don't get more time. Dear madam, respected madam.
Sir, yes, sir.
So
You
I can
sir.
extend still more 10 more minutes, eh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
With your permission.
Yes.
Okay. See, since our Dr. Rajasekaran touched slightly regarding the immunity, so the immunity plays a vital role in protecting your body against any type of invasions, any type of invasions. When there is a weak immunity, their gap is created at your body. They are locating. Usually, when there is a door is open, we people usually get into the room and we will stay there and we will do what else we like. Same way, the virus and bacteria, they will locate into the body. So we must strengthen this. We must strengthen this. There are 4 categories, that is status of our immunity: innate immunity, adaptive immunity, support immunity, stress immunity. Innate immunity is otherwise, we all know, some of our science people we must be listening. You can add and substantiate me in my discussion. It's innate in the sense by birth itself, the people will have the certain strong immune system. Those people need not to worry, need not to afraid of any invasions. But adaptive immunity, that's what we are doing by exercise, by way of any, some other modes. We improve adaptive immunity, supportive immunity. What do you mean by supportive immunity? Is nowadays it's this is what we are discussing is otherwise called as natural immunity, naturalization of immunity, herd immunity, HEARD, herd immunity. So by strength naturalizing our immunity, we do all those things: physical exercise, herbals. Nowadays we are doing very many herbal support to our strengthen our immunity, and our diet, lifestyle. In very many ways we get immunity to strengthen the immunity, that is supportive immunity. So for example, we take Kabasura Kudinir, uh, some other herbals for a turmeric powder, some other things we are taking to come out of this COVID-19. Those are all supportive immunity, stress immunity. So by way of reducing the release of stress hormone from your body, you can also strengthen your immunity. Always stress plays a major role in releasing uh, stress immunity, namely cortisol from adrenal gland. Whereas, so by doing exercise, by following all those four principles, this we can reduce the release of stress hormonal secretion from your glands. So these are the four stages of immunity. So we must concentrate on these four stages to strengthen, so that we can fight and we can come out of any problems. Now, only we are coming into our own area. Today's discussion, dear friends, kindly be attentive over this physical activity, benefits of physical activity. As we all know, there are three major areas. Three major areas we get benefit out of physical activity. These usually the educationists all, particularly the teachers, must be knowing these three major areas: physiological benefits, sociological benefits, and psychological benefits. See, here we are going to see some of the physical benefits due to physical activities, which are related to the prevention and fighting against the viral infections. Viral infections, what are those benefits out of exercise we obtained to come and fight against the viral infections? We are going to discuss out of physiological, sociological, and psychological benefits. So if we get into each area, that will take even 3 hours to discuss each area of benefits. Now, I have summarized some of the benefits which you get through physical activities, to particularly to fight against the viral infections, particularly to get the present situation, the COVID-19 infection into our body. See, some of the changes start with neurotransmission. Neurons, they increase release of some of the hormonals. Let us come one by one. So important things which we acquire due to physical activities. That's why I have summarized these points are when we, instead of going area wise. First one, neurotransmission. When we do exercise, the blood flow is increased to the brain and to the nervous system, then through circulatory system, the impulse transmission through nerves from one nerve cell to another nerve, that is neuron. One nerve cell to another nerve cell is transmitted very easily. The flow is very free flow to your entire organs, entire system, so your body can function normally. This is the basic concept of basic benefit which we acquire due to physical activity, dear friends. So we teach our students, we get some of the students score 40 marks, some of students score 60 marks, some of students score 90 marks. Why is this different exist? Is purely of neurotransmission, neuromuscular transmission. So the impulse transmission plays a vital role in cognition development. As our Honorable Vice Chancellor pointed out rightly, So the physical exercise plays a vital role in neurotransmission. This neurotransmission has a significant role in the impulse transmission. That is, impulse is nothing but information transmission from one nerve into another nerve cell. So that we get communication properly, we communicate the information properly. So the process taking place very easily, so that we understand, we grasp anything else we come across, we stored in our mind, we can replay, we can reflect, we can present, we can submit such a way. This is a major benefit of physical activity. Uh, Next one, neurons. As I told you, blood flow is increased to your brain. Our brain has got 1 to 2 lakhs of millions of neurons at our brain. 1 to 2 lakh millions, dear friends, of neurons at our brain. So due to increase in blood flow at your brain, number of newborn neurons are enhanced. The number of new neurons are enhanced. Only if it is enhanced, and the neurotransmission will take place very easily. Then third, due to short of time, we'll come point by point very precisely, concisely. Then release. So physical exercises, physical exercise releases the some of the important chemical substances from your body. Serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, cortisol. These chemical substances play a vital role in your boosting your immunity. Really, it's serotonin, oxytocin, cortisol. It has got a very vital role in strengthening your immunity. This plays role. Then boost immunity, as I told you, releases anxiety. See, in managing stress, how the physical exercise manages stress. Everyone we used to speak about the exercises, physical training reduces stress. What happens physiologically? If you do exercise, what happens physiologically? That should be noted. See, if you do exercise, simply we can say stress is released. Stress is released. But what happens actually? The physical exercises slows, it brings down the release of amount of stress hormone cortisol from the adrenal gland. So you will not be stressed. Your magnitude of stress is brought down. So exercise is doing that vital uh, magnificent function. So this is a physiological reason everyone used to speak releases stress, manage stress. So actually what happens, it brings down the release or the magnitude of stress hormone released by adrenal gland, so that we will not be stressed. And anxiety release, vascular function, the vasoconstriction and vasodilation of the blood vessels is improved. Once the vasoconstriction, vasodilation of blood vessels is increased, so there will be a sufficient flow of blood, along with the sufficient flow of the blood, sufficient O2 will be supplied to our parts of the body. So the vascular function is increased. So once the sufficient flow is increased, no, no other hindrance to your systems to strengthen the um, immunity system. Then increase temperature. Increase temperature. Everyone knows that if you do exercise, the body temperature is increased. What is there in discussing? What is there in discussing? So automatically the body temperature will increase. So by increasing body temperature, what happens? That's a question now. If you do exercise, the body temperature is increased. So what happens actually? That we must know, we must teach to the students to make them involved with the physical activities. We must make them to understand by increasing temperature, what happens. So if the temperature increase in your body, that temperature, increasing temperature will prevent the bacteria from growing further. That will destroy the bacteria. When the body temperature is increased, automatically the bacteria which are located into our body, which are invaded and settled at our body, will be stopped. They will inhibit. Physical exercise will increase in temperature will inhibit the growth of the bacteria which are settled at our body. If the growth of the bacteria is sustained, that is stopped, so there is no possibility for infection. When there is no infection, there is no problem at all in your body. So this is the way physical exercise increase the body temperature. Due to increase in body temperature, this is a physiological benefit we get out of the physical exercise. Dear friends, our role as a role of teacher, as a role of mentor, as a role of physical education director, we must inculcate these important concept in the minds of the students, in the minds of youth of our country. So if you do exercise, our body will flush out the bacteria out. What else the bacteria attacked or invaded or located into your body will be flushed out, just like water. We are flushing water from the basin, it will be flushed out. And antibodies, there will be a changes in antibodies due to physical exercise, and mainly there will be a significant change in this experimentally proved concept. Say the WBC is a promoter of our T cells. T cells from the thymus gland, which promote the immune system of our body. This is WBC, or there will be changes in WBC which support the immune system cell at our body so that we can strengthen our immunity. These are the dear participants, dear friends. These are the some of the major benefits due to physical exercise, which are correlated with, which are related with, which we have to take into our mind to teach our students to understand, to make the concept clear, to strengthen our immunity, to avoid, to prevent, to come out of such type of virus invasion into our body. So this is a major discussion of today's, this is a concept which we have discussed as a major part in today's discussion. Madam,
Yes, sir.
still I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
I must check frequently, because sometimes there
Yes.
is some technical
Yeah, that's true.
problems. We
Yes,
may
sir.
get de-linked with each other. Okay.
Yes, sir, you're audible,
Okay.
sir.
Oh, yes, madam. Yes, madam. Then, so after realizing, after teaching them, teaching the students to understand the basic concept of basic benefits of physical exercises in our body, then we can insist our students to do unless otherwise, without understanding the concept, without informing the goal of the activity, purpose of the activity, if we teach them, if we train them, the result, we cannot get a desirable results from the students, particularly from young minds. This is a duty of the teachers, particularly the teacher training students, that is B.Ed and M.Ed students, particularly from the teachers of both Western as well as NKT College of Education. My dear professional colleagues, teachers, you kindly take it granted at our hand to deal with all those things, to educate them. Then, now only we are coming. Now I have a question on all of you, those who are listening with me. Who is your permanent life partner? Can you answer me now? Who is your permanent life partner? Is it our wife? Is it a husband? Is a father, mother, or friend? Who else? Who else? Who else is a life partner, permanent life partner into anybody? Can you tell me now? Nothing else, no one else. Your body is a permanent life partner, dear friends. You keep in this point as registered in your mind, take it granted in your mind. You convey this message to all of your friends, your society, to register this concept at their mind of every citizen of our country, dear friends. Our body is a permanent life partner, dear friends. Nothing else, no one else. 24 hours, 1440 minutes, who is helping us, our routine. With the help of our body, we are able to discharge. I am speaking now. You are doing now. We do a lot of works and wonders in my life, at our life. How we are doing without help. If there is any problem in your body, you cannot discharge even a single uh, concept at your body. Single concept, you cannot. Even a single, even a small stomach pain, headache will ruin your entire routine. I can assure that. So body is a permanent life partner. Do you reciprocate at any way, at any time? Do we return? Do we help at any time body? Have you thought of reciprocating our own body at any time till this minute? No. We never realize how it functions, what it requires, what our body requires. We consume food, we consume water, we drive, we dress up, everything we do. But do you know what actually the body requires? Basic requirement of body. Do we fulfill the basic requirement of our body? What way can you fulfill the requirement of our body? What way can you substantiate? What way can you help our body to support us the entire 24 hours routine, 1440 minutes, dear friends? Answer me. You cannot. Only way you can help our body, only way you can reciprocate our body by way of physical exercise. No other way. No other way. You cannot substantiate me. You cannot answer me. You cannot put me anything else in front of me instead of physical exercise. You cannot otherwise. You can't help our own body. You cannot reciprocate. That reciprocal means give and get. So his body is giving, helping us. So we should also help the body. So that is reciprocal. So only way to help our body to lead peaceful life. So entire 24 hours out of 1,400 minutes. So I am going to insist you, instruct you, request you, appeal you all to allot 15 to 30 minutes in a day out of 1,440 minutes. Can't you allot, can't you spend 50 to 30 minutes for whom is helping entire life, not only to 24 hours, entire our life, entire period of our life is assisted, is helped by our body. So my question is now, you must answer me, all of you now. Will you be able to spend 15 minutes to 30 minutes in a day? Who is helping you throughout your life out of 1,440 minutes? This is my question to all of you. Answer me. If anybody can substantiate me, you can come out. If not till today, if not till this minute, you start from tomorrow. Dear participants, dear friends, you start from tomorrow. You think of, man, we have got 1,440 minutes at our hands, dear friends. So we spend a huge amount of money on liability, health problems in later stage. Why? Why we should spend unnecessarily? We do many activities. Why don't you help your body, your own body? You've got plenty of time. 24 hours. Within the 24 hours, you can't you spend just 15 to 20, 30 minutes for your own body. Take it granted. Fix it now. From, if not today, some of you might be involved in physical activities. For remaining and other people, I make my humble appeal and submission. You try to schedule from tomorrow onwards to 15 to 30 minutes with to involve with the physical activities, not only in the form of running, jumping, throwing, climbing, etc. You involve with any sort of physical work, that is physical activity. I have not given a word physical exercise, physical activity, any sort of physical work, you can do it. That's what my humble submission. If, again, I insist you, if not till today, you start from tomorrow, you schedule your routine. Among those schedule, exercise should be part. Exercise should be a part of your schedule, my dear young participants in this country. See, if you spend 15 to 30 minutes in a day, you can save 15 hours, 15 days, 15 weeks, 15 months, 15 years of medical life later stage. We should think always, why should we work? Why should we do? Why should we drive? Everything future plan. Tomorrow, for our wards. Do you want to become liability to your family? Do you want to liability to become liability to your society? Since there is a saying, 6 citizens always will form 6 society. Vice versa, 6 society always will yield 6 citizens. Dear friend, this is a concept. So do you want to become 6 citizens, a liability to your family, liability to your country, liability to society? So don't take this point at your hand. You just allot 15 to 30 minutes in a day to help you to have a peaceful, healthy and wealthy life. So if you allot this 15 to 30 minutes daily in your schedule, so no need to think of this type of pandemic, endemic, epidemic, pandemic, stage by stage. No need. No need afraid of anything else. If you have physical activities in your schedule, like day, in your days schedule daily throughout your life. That's why I told you in the earlier, the starting, when we start the discussion. So it's not the point of, it's not the contest of discussing only during pandemic that we are going to discuss, only pandemic. We should concentrate always throughout our life. So my my instigation, my submission, you allot 15 to 30 minutes and involve physical activities. Then now last discussion which we are going to come across. So what are the things we should come across during this pandemic? After educating, after realizing the benefits of exercise, after coming across the immunity, after coming across your own responsibility, my own responsibility, we should do something to get away, to refrain ourselves from this pandemic situation. First, you make yourself, you convert you from sedentary to active life. See, now the government has given lockdown, entire lockdown, partial lockdown, with relaxation, without relaxation. Now we have the lockdown of complete lockdown every Sunday. So that is secondary. So due to this lockdown, due to this confinement, so some of us, we become sedentary, movementless, motionless. You make yourself be active. You involve with some movement, some activities, some works within or outside. So that you can come across all these points. You make yourself first of all active. You do some sort of movement to your physical work. So you come out of sedentary life. Usually our Indian citizens, populations, after 45 years, both male and female, we become sedentary. We will not involve with any physical activity. As without doctor's suggestion, without doctor's advice, we never used to think of all these exercise, etc., etc. So only after a doctor advises us, we will start do this. So don't you kept abeyance of all those concepts in your mind till this minute. You come out of all those concepts in your misconcept, I can take it granted. So you come out of those all misconcepts, you make yourself be active. So unless you, because the journey of journey of 1,000 miles will be started with a small and single step, dear friends. If you want to travel 1,000 miles, you should stay single and small step. Without that small and single step, you cannot travel for 1,000 miles. That's why unless you be active, you make yourself active and generative, so you cannot get into this one. So next one, as I told you, so how far you can do exercise? Question. There are thousand of questions from minds of youth as well as the people of our country. How long you can? To strengthen, to make your glands and systems active. So 150 to 300 minutes a week of exercise is more than sufficient. It's not, this is not performance oriented exercise. So you are not going to be trained for competition in sports. You are going to be trained yourself for strengthening your immunity to lead a healthy life. That's a question. That's a issue of our country. See, as our recent statistics, 26% of our GDP of each citizen we spent on our health status. Dear friends, 25% of GDP of each citizen is we spent on our health status. So instead of spending on unwanted concept, we make you involve yourself maximum of 300 minutes, minimum of 150 minutes in a week with involve the physical exercise, physical activities. Then hydrate. See, some of doctors will advise us to have water 5 liters, 6 liters in a day. What's the nature of your work? You decide yourself. Do you have proper elimination from your body? What's the nature of work? Depending upon the nature of work, you consume the water. If it is eliminated properly, your body should have a proper hydration. If you allow your body to dehydrate, particularly this pandemic, or be becoming idle within the home, so we don't feel to have consume the water. We will not. Some of concepts will get into your mind. If you consume more water, then something will happen. So that's why we have educated our wards students. Hydrate. Proper hydration is required, dear friends, dear young friends, particularly the young students, young friends. They never thought of hydration of in our body. We need 90% of our body is composed of water hydration. So we need to compensate hydration. Even if you go out and come for a while for shopping, so see per portion of water will be hydrated, dehydrated, utilized. So you should compensate your hydration. If you hydrate, so there will be a transmission will be free for exercise to improve. Proper sleep. This is a vital part. This is vital part. So what's the duration of a normal duration for sleeping for a normal healthy adult? So 6 to 8 hours we need to have a sleeping. 6 to 8 hours. See, in the world, we are the longest duration sleepers. Indians are longest duration sleepers. Japanese are very least duration sleepers. See, in spite of least duration sleepers, Japanese are very least prone for cardiac problems. But in spite, we are longer duration sleepers, we are more prone for cardiac problems. Since they have a lifestyle, different lifestyle, they have made exercise as one among the fundamental rights of citizen for every citizen. We have not done it. We are not even going to make an attempt to over it. That's a problem now. So this is proper sleeping we require, not only exercise, not only hydration, not only stress, everything else. So we need to have a proper sleeping. This is, if time permits, we'll discuss over this, who is responsible for proper sleeping, what happens, which hormone is responsible for sleeping. So melatonin is a very small gland, pineal gland, which is present in the midline of your body, which secretes a hormone, namely melatonin, which is melatonin is responsible for regulating your sleeping. If time permits, we'll discuss in the next slide. Then minimize the stress. Usually during pandemic, start from children to elderly people, we are stressed. We should accept it. Another concept, 80% of the population of our country, one way or other, stressed. Either professionally or residentially or health-wise, one way or other, 80% of the Indian population are stressed. One way or other, they are disturbed. So in this juncture, see, already we are stressed. You try to minimize your stress. You share you discuss with your family members, your friends, at least phone. We have got nowadays, we have got very many modes of sharing. So by sharing, by doing, I'm coming last point, yoga. By we can minimize your stress. If the stress is increased, the number of cortisol, the amount of cortisol is increased automatically. That will affect the strengthening of immunity. Then, as I told you, 150 to 30 minutes, 20 minutes, start walking 20 to 30 minutes. You don't blame anybody else. Sir, I don't find time, go for walking. Whenever you find time, wherever you get time, you go for walking, particularly this period. Better if you go by bare feet, that will have more significant impact over your health aspect. Since there are 38 pressure points are compiled or coiled in the soles of our feet. Dear friends, almost all the organs, all the systems are, all nerve endings of all those systems are compiled, coiled in the soles of our feet, both soles. If you go for walking without any footwear, that is bare feet, all those pressure points or nerve endings will be stimulated, so that all organs and systems will be active. So you can start from tomorrow. Then nutrition, as I told you, nutrition we cannot, as per our Indian condition, 20% of the population of our country, they are with only single time, one time food in a day. 20% population are living with one time food in our country. So in this juncture, we cannot discuss about, we cannot think about the vitamins, nutrition, etc., etc. At our hand, we should modify, we should come down, we should get out of all those fast foods and stored packed foods. You come down to our traditional, normal Neolithic food, and you can, certain extent, you can come out of these infections. So composition of these components of food components, sometimes it will have a positive result. Sometimes we will not be in a position to compose proper proportion. That is still burning issue at our hand. So nutrition, the sense you come down to Neolithic diet, traditional diet, what we had those days, the diet, those days lifestyle itself with physical mobility. So that itself given much impact to our health. Simple example I can give you: if you go to temple, we'll be instructed to come around 12 times, 21 times, or 10 times, 7 times around the pragaram of the temple. So laid with stones, completely stones. We'll be instructed to come around the pragaram 7 times, 9 times. Why? There is a scientific reason behind it. With bare feet, if you walk around over the stones, hard stones, 7 rounds, 8 rounds around pragara, all those systems, pressure points will be stimulated. That's the reason for each and every moment of traditional life, our ancient life, Neolithic diet, that is our traditional diet. We have got our scientific value, dear friends. You try to come down, dear parents. Some of parents are listening to this discussion. You try to come down, bring down, you change the mode of diet into our traditional diet. You just get away from all those this fast food, modern foods. So by this way, you can save our country, you can save our wards. 50% of the health problems will be solved, saved, if you come down to our traditional diet, traditional lifestyle. So each and every moment of our traditional lifestyle has got its own scientific value. You cannot contradict me, you cannot reject me, you cannot deny me. You think about each and every moment of our traditional life. Nowadays, everything sensor. Even we don't need to get up and switch on the light or TV. Now everyday is mobile. Without mobility, completely sedentary. How can you think about improvement of these fitness and immunity, dear friends? So just think over it. So this is the right platform. Teachers, my professional colleagues, teacher friends, you inculcate, you instruct our students to at least get into our traditional lifestyle, traditional food, so that you can have this nutritional contest fulfilled. Then try indoor. Then there are very many restrictions at our country in the state and district wise. If you are not able to go out for doing exercise, you try indoor. Within your bedroom, within your drawing hall, you can do some of the activities and attend aerobic classes. Still, if you go to city and even rural areas, very many classes are being conducted in spite the restriction lockdown with social distances. So they are handling the aerobic classes, they are attending the classes, so you can get benefit. So, and the important concept, we all should know the uh, balance our emotion. Balance our emotion. Dear friends, some of our psychology teachers, professors may accept me. What we think, what we think is not matter of what is going on in your mind. There is a saying, there is a concept, psychophysiological concept. What we think is not a matter of what is going on in your mind. In this situation, you may think, you may try to listen to me, but something will be going on in your mind. Something will be going on in your mind. So thoughts and actions should be correlated. Thoughts and actions should be related. We should bring down into existence. For that, you must balance your emotion. Unless you balance your emotion. You cannot concentrate. Even now, you cannot listen to me. And but if you balance your emotion, you can improve your emotional intelligence. Particularly the BA teachers might be giving this explanation to the students. Emotional intelligence, those who are using a presence of mind can have a high percentage of emotional intelligence by balancing your emotion. This is during pandemic, particularly you should control. Then yoga. So no words for explanation for yoga. So this meditation, particularly pranayama, if you have practice of this regularly, even now this during pandemic, that will enhance the O2 supply to your lungs. From there you can get sufficient amount. Where we get problem, when we get problem, when there is insufficient amount of blood supply, we get some problem. When there is insufficient of O2, we get problem. When there is insufficient of water, we get problem. When we get insufficient of psychological support, we get problem. So all those things can be tackled by doing practice meditation, as well as what is that pranayama and yoga. Now this yoga requires much more space within 4 feet dimension or 6 feet dimension. You can do this yoga. Particularly, this will help a lot during pandemic period. And as our government suggests, SMS sanitation, mask, and social distancing, you need to maintain a good hygiene at our workplace, even our vehicle, two-wheeler, either it is two-wheeler or four-wheeler, anything else, your bedroom, your bathroom, your residence, even in your gates, everything you must maintain hygiene, good hygiene you must maintain. So for discussion, it may be very simple task. In practical situation, if you try to maintain the hygiene, you will have some difficulties, some problems, some economic hindrances, everything will come out. So in spite, we should try to maintain this. Then social distancing is very great impact. See, previously it was even government by 3 feet distance, the mode of and the virus can attack within 3 feet. More than 3 feet, we cannot invade against the body. But now we are giving 6 feet. Again, they are coming. 36 scientists have submitted the report to the World Health Organization that the COVID-19 virus will spread through even air. Mode of transmission, even by air also, there is a possibility. So they have submitted written documents, written support, with supportive documents to the governing body of health, World Governing Body of Health Organization. So, but we have to be very careful in maintaining social distance also. We must follow very many criteria. Dear friends, all listeners, all our friends who are with me for past an hour, see, so we have started with our common quotes from Vivekananda to instigate the minds of the students, then stages to awareness stages, then components for overcoming the COVID-19, physical importance of benefits of physical exercise, then what we should do during this pandemic. So I hope that I have tried my level best to create an awareness.
Yes, sir.
This
Thank you, sir.
platform, this is a time to create an awareness, not only during this COVID-19, throughout your life, these discussion, if you carry, so we can reduce, at least, if not prevention, we can reduce the magnitude of invasion, magnitude of infection, magnitude of the probabilities for mortalities. So we can bring down if we follow not only during pandemic, so throughout our career, you adopt these. If madam time permits,
Yes,
if
sir.
time permits,
Sir, we can have a discussion session, sir, where
okay,
the moderator will read the questions for you.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Let us start the presentation now. Okay, madam.
Yes.
Okay, okay, madam. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful, informative session and beautifully updating us with enormous information about this topic. And you have really made us to realize the role of physical activity, not only during the pandemic period, but throughout our lifespan to enhance our immunity and be healthy. I now call upon the organizing secretary, Mr. Arnold Robinson, Assistant Professor of Biological Science, Meston College, to moderate the discussion session. Over to you, sir.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Respected dignitaries, Dr. K. Murugavel sir and Rajeshekar sir. We got lot of input from you in this session. I know that time. Okay, I attended a refresher course in Bardiyar University. At that time, Murugavel sir, you have addressed us. We enjoyed that the same way today in this virtual platform. Also, you have enlightened us with your good words about health. A lot
Yes.
of questions have been asked. Whenever the questions have been come in the chat and the Facebook, I was writing everything in my note. What happened? Immediately after that, you are giving the answers for it. That's a great the spirit of presentation you have. That's why you have touched on all the areas. Only two questions I have.
Yes,
I
please.
want to ask it. That something is missed in this. The one is, during pandemic, can we guide our students to go into the group or to the ground? Is it safe? That's the only questions the
Yes.
many people have asked.
Yes, we are doing here. You can permit them to go to the field with the social distance, without closing with each other. So they can do training, they can do exercise. Even the Indian government permitted our top class sportsmen to train themselves in the track with the stadium with the proper social distancing and guidelines. You can permit them with our limitations.
Okay, sir. Next question is from Sir Ranjit Kumar. He has given more number of questions. Can you give any simple exercise to enhance our mental health, stress releasing? Simple exercise when we are in physically we are not well. We are in the room. Give
Yes.
any one or two exercise we can do inside our home.
So do you want to have a demonstration now?
No, not in that pattern of demonstration.
So I can have a small video clipping for him to get into the relaxation within the room itself, or else I can.
You can share
You
the
can
link.
share.
You can share the link in the chat box, sir. We can
Yes,
use the link.
please, just a minute, just a minute. அந்த வீடியோ ஒன்று வச்சுக்கோங்க.
Sir, and another question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Another question. Nowadays, government is putting some orders to maintain a exit entry gate, two different entry exit gate in gym. What is the reason behind that?
See, only for the restriction for so before exercise we may have some body strata. After exercise we will have some body strata. So those who are entering into this will have some different status of body, and when they are going out after exercise they should not get involved mingled with the exit and end. That's why they have different gates for them.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Lady exercise.
And another questions raised by Ranjit Kumar sir. How can the curriculum and syllabus can be reframed or restructured to enhance? Because you have said Japan has given us a
Yes.
right to everyone. In your point of view, how can the curriculum or the syllabus can be reframed in the future?
Sir, basically we should have syllabus for students from primary school onwards, physical education program. We don't have any compulsory physical education program starting from elementary school at present at our country. Basically, we should make physical education as compulsory in the curriculum starting from primary section. So then only we can go for modification of syllabus. So we don't have any existence in the compulsory physical education program at the schools starting from primary. When you come to higher standards, 10th standard, 11th standard, 12th standard, all those physical education periods are taken and borrowed by the subject teachers for compensation of the syllabus for academic orientation. So we do not have any basic structure of physical education program for elementary school children. So we should start basically from primary section, particularly in the pre-adolescent period. So we must inculcate the habit of doing physical exercise through our curriculum throughout the country, so that we can increase the percentage of participation of children in the physical activities. That's been made by the government. Of course, that is the program, physical education program exists from 5th to 6th standard at our Tamil Nadu state, but they do by some of the, even the classes are coming under hot sun, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 2:30. So under hot sun, how we are going to do this? We are going to involve these students. It should be made as compulsory. For example, I can give you the Chinese government. They made physical education program as compulsory. After 3:30, entire entire strength of the school will be at the grounds. Not only physical education teacher, not only students participating in the physical education activities, entire school, entire teachers, entire students will be at the ground from 3:30 onwards, from 5 o'clock. So this is a common program, government compulsory program. Such a way we have to initiate, we have to induct into the general curriculum of our education. Such a way the curriculum needs the modification into our existence, so that we can think of modification of syllabus. So basically we must introduce the activities from lower standard onwards. So we can fulfill that. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. You have presented your session without PowerPoint, a powerful presentation without PowerPoint. Really, we enjoyed your sessions.
Sir, please. So just video clipping is here. Hello.
You can
Yes,
you can
sir, yes,
share
sir.
your PowerPoint.
You can just 2 minutes. You can go for those who are in the home and sedentary life. They can just have this. You give share option, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll inform.
Unmuted.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. As you said, teachers are the producers of proper citizen, right? We will produce in the future, no, we will produce a good citizen.
Sir, the screen is sharing. Give sharing. Not it.
Mr. Anthony, sir.
ஸ்க்ரீனை கேன்சல் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. அதான் நமக்கு பிபிடி போடுறோம்.
அதான் பிபிடி போடுறாங்க.
அவங்க ஸ்கேன் ஷேர் ஆப்ஷன் கொடுக்கல. கொடுத்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஷேர் ஆயிடுச்சு சார். அதோட டிசேபிள் பண்ணிருக்காங்க.
And as we have come to the end of this webinar, I now call upon the organizing secretary, Mr. R. Ruben John Thomas, Director of Physical Education, Meston College of Education, to deliver the vote of thanks, followed by announcements from Dr. A. Jayanti Mary, Assistant Professor, Meston College of Education. Over to you, sir.
No, please wait. Our principal is waiting.
ஷேர் பண்ண வேண்டியது பண்ண மாட்டேன். ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்ண சொல்லுங்க. அதுக்குள்ள ஓட்டா பண்ணிட்டீங்களே, அதை சாப்பிட்டுக்கிறாங்களா கெஸ்ட்? அவங்க பேசுங்க, டைரக்டா பேசுங்க, ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்ண சொல்லுங்க. இதுலயே சொல்லுங்க மேடம்.
Sir, please share your
Hello, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Okay. Excuse me, sir. Sir, share screen has been enabled. You can start sharing your screens, the video that you want to play.
Previously, the screen was not shared. PPT was not shared.
Actually, it was enabled on your side. If you want, you can share the video now.
No, no, no.
Certificate to start, please try again later. சார் இங்கே சார் இதாவது இது ப்ராப்ளம் எரர் கூட காமிச்சிட்டே இருக்கு நம்ம சைடில்
சரி
திருப்பி ட்ரை பண்ணி ரீசெட் தான் பண்ணி வரணும் சொல்லுவோம்
But some technical problem, it's not getting shared.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. You can share it later through some of our
Okay.
organizers so that we can pass it to the participants because many were asking for it.
Okay.
We'll proceed with the vote of thanks. Dear participants, due to some technical error, we'll have the vote of thanks at first and then the presentation will be done.
Thank you, madam. Sorry for inconvenience. A warm and graceful afternoon to all. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University, Dr. Sheila Stephen ma'am, a special guest, Professor Dr. Rajsekhar Kali Venkata, Director of Physical Education and Sports, University of Hyderabad, and Chief Guest, Dr. K. Murugavel, Professor and Director of Physical Education, Bharatiya University, Coimbatore, Honorable Management Members of NKT College and Western College, respected Principal Dr. Chamundiswari, NKT National College of Education for Women, and our beloved Principal Dr. Daivasagam Kumar, organizing secretaries, worthy teachers, parents, and my dear friends. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion and acknowledge the contribution of those who work really hard to make this webinar a grand success. First and almost, I extend my most sincere thanks to the Almighty God for making today's events a resounding success. Only with these blessings and grace, we were able to make this event what it was. I would like to propose my sincere gratitude, Dr. Sheila Stephen, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Physical Education and Sports University, and my teacher for gracing today's webinar and delivering the presidential address. Thank you, ma'am, for your very interesting and thought-provoking address. Really, you can explain the three dimensions of CAN. I am really proud of that. Thank you, madam, for your presentation. And I would like to extend a special thanks to our special guest, Professor Dr. Rajsekhar Kali Venkata, Director of Physical Education and Sports, University of Hyderabad, for accepting our request and collaborating with other resource person and for the exemplary way in which he explained the topics. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to express my sincere thanks to today's webinar resource person, Professor Dr. Murugavel, Professor and Director, Department of Physical Education, Bharatiya University, Coimbatore, for his excellent presentation on the topic role of physical activity during pandemic. Thank you very much, sir. I am sure that all the participants have taken note of your suggestion and will be discussing within themselves, recording the action to be initiated at their level. Thank you very much, sir. In the field of physical education, the three dimensions is the physical, mental, and social. The Holy Spirit, the Holy Bible also say the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And today our presidential address, Honorable Vice Chancellor told CAN. So say like in our webinar today, the three special, extraordinary guests in the field of physical education stand in one platform. So make this webinar a grand success. Thank you very much, all the speakers. Thank you very much, sir, and thank you very much, madam. And I extend my gratitude and thank to both the management members, particularly our father, Reverend Father Lutusami Susai, to join this webinar and grace these occasions. And I thank to our respected Principal Dr. Chamundiswari, NKT College of National College of Education for Women, to organize this event in collaboration with their college. Thank you, madam. And I thank our beloved principal, Dr. Devasayam Kumar, our professor, today resource person, Murugavel sir also told them, stand in standard. We are starting the seminar in the right time. So we also having a right person as a principal, because in today's webinar, three extraordinary person in the field of physical education stand in one platform because of our sir taking the effort and efficient in this webinar. Thank you very much, sir, for your encouragement and support. A special thanks goes to the organizing committee, Mr. Arnold Robinson, Assistant Professor in Biological Science, Western College of Education, for leading the discussion session and extend your support in the technical side to making the broadsheet certificate and everything. Thank you very much, sir, and Mrs. A. Eni Truth, Assistant Professor of Education, NKT College of Education, conducting this webinar perfectly and timely. Thank you, madam. Last but not least, I would like to extend my special appreciation and gratitude all the participants of this webinar. Today, this webinar, more than 750 participants registered in this webinar, and today the 300, more than 300 participants joined in the Zoom platform. Thank you very much, all the participants, and I hope you all will have updated your knowledge in the field of physical fitness. So once again, I thank all the speakers and the honorable management members, both the principals, staff, my dear students, and to extend their hands with me, organizing secretaries, to make this webinar a grand success amidst your busy schedule. Thank you, one and all. Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Is it possible to share the video now, sir?
Enable the share mode.
Madam, the scenes has failed to start, restart.
Okay, you carry on, carry on.
I now call Dr. Jayanti to give the announcements to the participants and about the feedbacks.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, before the national anthem, I'm happy to announce about our upcoming one-day national webinar on online digital resources for teacher education. It is on the 12th of August 2020 from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. It is organized by Western College of Education in collaboration with the Society for the Advancement of Library and Information Science, Chennai. All teaching faculty, including librarians in schools, colleges, and universities, research scholars, prospective teachers, and parents are welcome. The registration link is provided in the chat box. The brochure is also given in the chat box. Dear participants, the QR code for the feedback link is now displayed. Kindly scan the link and give your feedback. The feedback link is also provided in the chat box and YouTube live also. Thank you. Now, we shall all rise in our places for the national anthem.